one.
Good afternoon. Welcome. My name is Melody McClellan, and I am the St. Louis MBDA CARES Act Coordinator. We are bringing you this webinar in partnership with Wiser U today, talking about mastering LinkedIn for business and sales. I would like for everyone to get their pens and notepads ready for this amazing information that we're going to share and resource. And I would just like to say thank you for joining us today. And we'll get started with Tamisha Taylor doing the introduction of our speaker.
You're on mute.
Good afternoon. You've likely heard the buzz about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is powerful for business, but only if you know how to use it. That's why I'm excited to introduce today's speaker. She's a well-known LinkedIn expert, trainer, and author who will teach us exactly what to do to reach our target customers and turbocharge our sales on the world's largest business network, LinkedIn. Before establishing herself as a LinkedIn expert, our speaker managed communications and advertising at some of St. Louis's finest companies, where she and her team racked up 27 awards for communications excellence. It was her love of communicating that led her to start her popular blog, wiserutips.com, to help the unemployed and miserably employed land a great career. And it was during her occasional stints at being unemployed and miserably employed herself that she discovered the wonders of LinkedIn. She used the site to land 2 jobs and went on to use LinkedIn to promote her own successful company. She trains individuals, companies, and nonprofits to make the most of LinkedIn to reach their target prospects, whether these prospects are employers, customers, job candidates, or donors. She's all about furthering your goals and business career. So let's welcome St. Louis's LinkedIn expert, Kathy Bernard.
Thank you, Tamisha. It's nice to be here with everyone. I am going to share my screen here and get over to the presentation. There we go. Beginning. So hopefully everyone can see my slides now. If not, yell. But what we're going to be talking about today is about scoring high on LinkedIn for business. And you may never have thought about that term about scoring on LinkedIn, but that's what we're going to talk about today, because LinkedIn is absolutely huge for your business. It's the world's largest business network with more than 700 million members. Not everyone's good at LinkedIn, but they're on LinkedIn. And about 170 million people are on LinkedIn in the United States. So pretty much anybody who you'd like to do business with is on LinkedIn. And it's where your prospects are. It's considered the most affluent social media on earth, with an average income of $100,000. And 100% of Fortune 500 companies use it for sales, marketing, job postings, or all of the above. So it's huge for big companies, but it's also very good for small businesses and solopreneurs. And what I'm going to be talking about today is about how you can score high, whether you want to use LinkedIn for career or whether you want to look at use it for business. And what I mean by that is if you had a premium account, like a career premium, or if you had like a sales navigator or recruiter premium, you can actually see how you score for your jobs that are posted on LinkedIn. But that same theory works for if you are the owner of a company or the sales rep for a small business. You can score high for what you do as an employed person or as a business owner. So if you had a premium account and at least 10 people have applied for a job, say you wanted to look for a product management job, in this particular job, you'd score in the top 10% because of your past work experience where you'd been a product manager before, your current experience, you're a product manager right now, and your skills, the skills that you have listed down in your skills section. If you do all of those things right for what you do, you can start being found on LinkedIn. And that's the beauty of LinkedIn. And here's an example of how that might work. I was working with a little mom and pop soundproofing company here in St. Louis, and she wanted to become more well-known in St. Louis because if you on LinkedIn put in soundproofing St. Louis, she wanted to show up. So what I did is I maximized her profile with her skills, her experience, her past experience. And what ended up happening is if somebody types soundproofing, not just in St. Louis, she started showing up #1 on LinkedIn. Like she showed up in the results #1. But more importantly than even that, she started showing up #1 in the nation on Google, because Google really respects LinkedIn data. So if you learn to maximize your LinkedIn profile on your company page, you can start showing up high on Google if somebody's looking for what you offer, whether that's financial services in St. Louis or construction or whatever your particular type of company is. Okay, so what do we do to get there, to score high for what you do? The first thing is you want to maximize your profile. So when you're on LinkedIn, you'd go to Me, View Profile, and you're going to start just building out your profile. If you're like most people, you built it like 5 years ago, never went back, and it's just laying there. But this is to get it to come alive and help you. So the first thing you want to do is add a banner up at that top in that blue default box. It's available whether you have a free account or a premium account. And think about what kind of banner you add. You might want to add something about the branding for your business, or maybe you're in agriculture, or maybe you're in marketing or whatever, and you want to show all that. The third image here is the guy in construction. So he's showing all the different construction projects that he had. The one thing you want to keep in mind is that your little circle head is over on the left side of it, and so you just want to make sure you don't put words right behind your head, and you also want to make sure the type doesn't cut off to the right, like the example shows with the lady that's in automotive training. Make sure everything fits just fine in the box. Then you want to make sure that you add your photo, not your logo, but your photo into your circle box. That can be anything sized from 300 by 300 up to 500 by 500 DPI, and you want to get it cropped to your head and shoulders so that people can recognize you when they view your profile. And you don't want to have your spouse's shoulder in the picture or your Christmas tree growing out of your head, so try to make it look like an attractive photo. And don't make the mistake that a lot of small businesses make, or solopreneurs, and thinking, oh, okay, I'm going to make the profile about my company. But that's actually against the rules on LinkedIn. Your company is about you, so it's your picture, and then you can create a free company page on LinkedIn, which we'll talk about a little bit further down the line on this presentation. So your picture goes here. Now you could have your picture and have the logo next to you or on your shirt, but you want this to be about you. Then up near your photo, you can have a headline. Now for decades, as long as LinkedIn's been out, you had 120 characters on your headline, but you now have 220 characters to tell your story. So don't just put founder and president or sales representative, put everything you want people to know about you if they were looking you up. So you'd say something like sales representative for Missouri, Kansas, and Iowa. We sell digital advertising, marketing, hardware, and here's how you can contact us. Here's our phone number, here's our web address, here's our email address. So make it easy for people to buy from you. And then if you're like an entrepreneur and you're trying to get investors, maybe talk about your whatever it is that you're developing, like commercializing castor hybrid seed varieties, and say you're looking for investors, and put your web address so they can learn more. So basically your headline is building business for you so that you can be found. Then what I would just suggest is avoid weak headlines. So things like authentic leader with brave heart, ideas, epic network at heart. I have no idea what they sell or what they do. President and founder of the Lappin Company. I have no idea what the Lappin Company is or what it sells. Or you waste it by just putting accountant and not putting all the things that you either head up or what your company sells. So really think about your headlines and think about that for your employees as well. If you haven't added one yet, you also have the opportunity to click Add Profile section, and you can add an About summary, which is a place where you could put 2,000 characters worth of content about you or about your company. So in this example, this client of mine, we listed all the products that they offer, all the brands that they sell, the services that they provide, and we include their phone number, their email address, and their web address. So think about this. You've got a free ad on the world's largest business network. What are you going to put in there when people look you up? And the most important part of that whole summary is the first 300 or so characters, because they show before the see more link, and people are lazy and they won't click see more unless you give them a reason to. So put something like Gauss & Associates sells and installs affordable soundproofing and sound control. I support businesses in Missouri, Southern Illinois, and North Arkansas. Call me at this phone number. Here's my email address. Here's my website. Do business with me. That's what every small business owner wants. So really think about your summary. Have multiple employees. Think about a paragraph that you could say, hey, if you don't mind doing it, add this into your summary. Maybe have a little lunch and learn, which I lead those, but you could have a little lunch and learn and teach everybody in your company how to add the standard blurb and how to maximize your business on LinkedIn. But the main point I want you to see is that you could have all of your employees speaking from the same pulpit about what you offer, so that if they show up in search, it brings them to your business. In that summary, you could list products, services, brands, your contact info, maybe testimonials from some of your satisfied customers, and then you could list accomplishments like increased sales by such and such % for whatever company. So you could list all those things. And another thing that you could list is a list of your skills that you retype from your skills list. Now here's just an example for a product manager. If somebody was to apply for a job on product manager, here's the skills that are repeatedly chosen as type of skills that your competitors have when you're applying for product manager. If that's your job now, you want to use those skills in your skills section, even if you're not applying for a job. Now, what I do is I actually make a long list just like this of the most wanted skills for every type of job title or industry. So what I do is if one company wants agile methodologies, I'll type it in alphabetical. If 2 companies want it, I make it bold. And if 3 companies or more want it, I make it red and bold. And what that tells me is these are the most sought after skills wanted for what you do or what you sell. So if you email me, I can send you to Kathy@wiseru.com. I can send you the skills for one of your job titles. So like if you're director of operations or whatever, I can send you those skills. You also need to invite me to connect on LinkedIn. I'm the Kathy Bernard in St. Louis, Missouri, and then I can endorse you for those skills. Please allow about a week for me to get those skills to you, because I have done 4 training sessions this week, and so I've got a lot of people I'm following up with. But I can tell you exact skills for the job that you do. Other things that you can do on your profile is you can click Add Profile section and then click Featured, and then you can feature your products or services, videos about your company, PowerPoint presentations about your company right there near the top of your profile. So for example, Jeff Snell, a local packaging company, he does a lot of customized packaging for companies. Every time he does something for a client, he shows that image on his profile. I know because I'm connected to him, he's the guy I'm going to go to for customized packaging. You could do the same thing. Maybe you're a marketing agency and you could run what your companies are doing. Maybe you're an architect, you could show some of your designs. So just think about what you want to show visually to impress people. And you can also add visuals in each one of your experience sections. So if you're the president of a company, you can show images in that section. You're a vice president, show images from that section all the way down. And so you can have a whole profile really playing up your abilities. You can list them in your experience section or your education section. Now I'm getting to the very most important box on your whole profile, and that is your current job title. So say you own a commercial asphalt company, really work your job title. Don't just put vice president, put vice president commercial asphalt paving. Here's our website, here's our phone number, come buy from us. Or maybe you're an executive coach and you put something in there like president, executive coach, but say something like consultant to help business owners, CEOs improve their businesses. The reason why this is the most important box is it makes up a full 33% of how you score on LinkedIn. So you want to make sure that you're using the job title and the description that best fits what you want people to know about you. So don't just waste it with the word founder. Put what you founded and why it matters. And then in the experience section for each one of them, you could put detailed duties or accomplishments for each one of your experience sections. So you might list things like deliver high-level coaching to employer clients to achieve life career goals, work with executives and teams in areas of leadership development. So put things in there that you want your prospects, your customers to know that you offer, so they can go, yep, she's the gal, she's the one, because she does exactly what we're looking for. Now, if you have a company page or you work for a company that has a company page, you want to make sure that you choose the company page from the list that pops up. In this instance, the first one, it says Toyota Motor Manufacturing, Kentucky. They put too much information in and it wasn't quite right. So if they retyped it Toyota Motor Corporation, they could find Toyota in the list and then the logo would show. So make sure that if you have a current company page, that your logo shows. And I'll show you how to create a company page in a couple more slides. Then you're going to get down to your skills section. And in your skills section, you can add up to 50 skills related to what you do. And so like I said, I can send you a list of the skills that relate to the job title that you have. And then you want to get endorsed for those skills by somebody you're connected with. If you don't actually score for a skill until you've been endorsed by somebody else, and that person has to be connected to you or they can't endorse you. So to add skills, you go to the skills section. If you need to, you might need to add profile section and add skills. Then you can choose the little bubbles that pop up because it says, hey, I know you're in marketing, so you might want to add social media and blogging and that. Or you can type into the box and choose, choose skills. You want to only choose skills that are in the list. Don't make up a skill, because you're not going to score for a skill that nobody else has. But you want to add skills, and you want to always make sure that your skills are capital letters. So if you chose organization development, and then you did a lowercase one, organization development, it would actually count as 2 different skills, and the one wouldn't score because it's lowercase. So add up to 50 skills and make sure that they relate to the job that you want to do. It's great if you do underwater basket weaving, but if it doesn't help you sell your product, then you want to change that skill. You can also change the order of your skills to put the most important 3 skills up at the top. So for example, my skills are public speaking, LinkedIn, and LinkedIn training. But if I wanted to change that to one of those to corporate communication, I would simply unclick the little blue pin that's next to that skill, drop it down into my list, and pick a different skill and make it blue. I can also click the 4 little lines next to my top 3 skills, and I can move the most important one up at the top. For example, I might move LinkedIn training up to the very top so that I can be seen for that one most of all. And so people will mostly endorse me for the skills that I'm most interested in getting an endorsement for. As I said, you want to get people to endorse you for your skills. The best way to get people to endorse you for your skills is to go to their profile and endorse them for their skills. So what you're going to do is go to somebody's profile, scroll down to their skills section, and if you're connected to them, first degree connection, you can click on the plus sign and turn it into a check mark. If you were in sales, what I might suggest doing is endorse a prospect for 3 skills this week, 3 skills next week, 3 skills the week after that, and you work it for weeks, because by then you're going to have them in your orbit. They are like, why is this person being so nice to me? I better go figure out how to endorse them for their skills. And do we do business with them? We ought to. They seem like really good people. So endorse those people. It's a great way for salespeople to get closer to their prospects. You can also add a ton of accomplishments. So for example, you can go to add profile section and you could add accomplishments like languages. If you speak a second language, or someone in your company can do second languages like Bosnian, by all means list that on your profile. If your first language is Mandarin, by all means include Mandarin, but also make sure to include English, or people will assume that even though your profile is flawless, that you don't speak English fluently. You also want to add like organizations you're in. This is really good for financial advisors, insurance agents, or something who, you know how hard it is. Sometimes people are like, oh, I don't want to talk to an insurance agent. They're going to talk to me about insurance. But they will talk to somebody who sponsored the Little League team, and they like working with other members of chambers of commerce, or who are in the same Lions Club with them. So think about all those organizations that you're involved in, whether that's industry or civic, and add those in. There's also an accomplishment section where you can add your volunteerism. So if you talk about that you were involved in United Way and Urban League and all of the civic organizations, that's going to give them a vote of confidence for you as well. You can also add things like patents and projects that you've been involved in and courses you've taken. Where this is helpful is like if you're trying to reestablish yourself in a slightly different area of business, you can talk about the courses you've taken that make you qualified for that. And you could list your honors and awards, whether that's community honors and awards, or maybe you were the sales leader at your company on the president's team, president's sales level or whatever. You can list all those. So to add those in, click add profile section, accomplishments, and add as many of them as you can. It doesn't exactly help you score, but it makes your profile look more robust and gives people something to go, oh, they're also involved in Big Brothers, Big Sisters. I want to talk to them because we have something in common. And for small business owners, Getting written recommendations is huge, and you can do that on LinkedIn. If you go down to your recommendations section, you can click request a recommendation, and then you can send that to one of your connections and say, hey, Melody, can you please write me a recommendation for this? She can say, yes, we worked together when we both were at Bear Crop Science, and then you could say something. Now, if you want to get really good recommendations, I would recommend emailing the person first and say, hey, would you be all right if I you wrote a recommendation for me? Here's my resume, or here's my bio. Here's what people tend to say about our company. So you could have them write something really positive about you or about your company. And then you want to get a lot of those written recommendations and maybe share some of them up in your about summary. Because then it's not just you saying you're awesome, it's 5, 6, 10 other people saying that you're awesome. And you could even maybe use some of those testimonials on your website. Now, I promised you that we would talk about creating a company page, and how you create a company page is you go to the work icon, and then at the very bottom of that drop-down menu, you're going to click create a company page. And when you do that, you can add a colorful banner that's very long and short. Like Apple did a really good job there, Schnucks did a great job there, and Enterprise, I don't know what the heck they got going there, so even big companies screw up. But the size is 1536 by 768 pixels, and you want to put some kind of banner up there that is the kind of reflective of your business. Note that it's a different size than the banner on your profile, but you might be able to adjust them to make that work for both profile and your company page. And then on your company page, you can add up to 2,000 characters of detail about what your company offers, its products and services. You can list up to 20 specialties, include your web address, a company size, headquarters location, and all that. 2 good news things for very small businesses: you no longer have to include a website address if you don't have one yet, and you also don't have to reveal your address if you're working out of your home. You can just say you're based in St. Louis. And what do you do on your company post? It's really hard. Sometimes you establish a company post and you got 2 followers, you and your assistant. So what you want to do on your company page is you want to post things like maybe video tips about auto repair or jump starting your car or whatever your area of expertise is. Maybe you brag about receiving certain honors and awards or being named top place to work. Maybe you post your jobs. That doesn't mean it goes on the job posting side of LinkedIn, but it does mean you're sharing some of that news. Maybe thank first responders or thank the police, firefighters, and the veterans. Maybe share some of your web ads that you've developed and post those out there. And then say, show your service projects and maybe share some video about some of your employees, do an employee spotlight. So there's a lot of things you can do. And then on the company page, there's a button under admin tools where you can ask your employees to share the news. And there's also a button where you can ask your connections to follow your company page. So build out your company page first and then ask your connections to follow your company page. This will mean anything if your network is so small that no one can find you. So aim to keep growing your network. The reason why you want to grow your network is if you want to be found by that prospect, they are found through your network, friends of friends. So what you want to do is you want to keep growing your first degree connection. That's either you invite me to connect and I accept, or I invite you to connect and you accept. And then what happens is maybe you got 500 first degree connections. That could lead to 500,000 second degree connections and 5 million third degree connections, friends of friends, friends. And what that can do is if a person in that lower tier of third degree connection is looking for someone who supplies marketing strategy, they can find you in their search results when they type marketing strategy, St. Louis. So you want to grow your network, particularly with your industry, but also with friends, family, coworkers. just keep getting connected and aim for having at least 500 plus, because then LinkedIn only shows that you have 500 plus, and then you look like a master networker. And then you want to get comfortable with posting on your home page. So when you get on your home page, it'll say, I think it now says share a post, and you could share a link like from an article that you read about something in your industry. Maybe there's some new change, or maybe you grab a browser link and share articles about good news in the community. Like, for example, I might say something like, congratulations to St. Louis for landing an MLS team. And I might share an article from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch on there. All you got to do is copy the browser address, paste it into the box, maybe add a couple of comments like, this is great news, congratulations, and then share it. But to get comfortable with that, I would suggest doing something that's really important, and that is liking, commenting, and sharing on your customers and your prospects' articles that are posted on LinkedIn. It's so easy to click like or celebrate or love or whatever and support your fellow community members. What happens is they notice that you're liking, commenting, and sharing on what they're doing, and they will return in the favor, and they'll like, comment, and share about what you're doing. So I've adopted about 50 different St. Louis companies, and every time they post something, I say something positive about what they're doing, or if I only have 2 seconds, I might like it, and they respond in kind, and that helps all of us to get more readership for our posts. So really start doing that. That is super easy. And if you're in sales, do that for your customers all the time. They will love you for it. And a new tool that's available on LinkedIn now is hashtag. So that's a capital 3 hashtag with a word right after it, or multiple words like biotech or St. Louis, all one word, STLOUIS. If you do hashtag St. Louis into the search box, a box will pop up and say, oh, do you want to follow that? And then all the news about St. Louis starts appearing on your homepage. So think about that for your industry. Do hashtag financial services, hashtag St. Louis, hashtag St. Charles, hashtag Belleville, and start following all the locations and the industry words that you want to do. Maybe do hashtag for the products that you sell. And by doing that, you're making sure that people who are interested in those topics will see those on your homepage. And you also want to share those whenever you post an article. You might add hashtag biotech so that you know you're going to reach the right people. So I know I have covered a great deal of stuff about LinkedIn in a short amount of time, but the 3 main takeaways that I want you to know is you want to maximize your profile, because LinkedIn helps people find you by you first and then your company. So maximize your profile so that you could be found for what you do or what you sell. Also, grow your network, particularly with your customers and prospects, but don't turn down invitations from people who are just friends or family. Their network could be also helpful to you. And then stay active on LinkedIn. Like, comment, and share on other people's posts. Post some stories every once in a while for yourself. Endorse people for their skills, and also invite people to connect and accept invitations to connect. All of those things, by staying active, you will show up higher in search results for what you do or what you sell. So that's what I do. Is if you're interested, email me. I do individual and team LinkedIn training, and look at your profile and tell you exactly where you can pump up your profile, pump up your company page. And I do that for career, for job seekers, for sales teams, marketing teams, fundraising teams, like advancement teams, plan giving or whatever, so that you score really high. So if you're interested in that, my site is wiseru.com and my email is Kathy@wiseru.com. And now I'm going to pass it on to Q&A, because I know Melody has been collecting a lot of Q&A from people. And then if you have other ones, she may explain to you also how you can ask your questions now if there's still time left. So.
Well, thank you very much, Miss Kathy Bernard. You provided a lot of information. LinkedIn is, I didn't know that many people were actually on, businesses were on LinkedIn. That was amazing. We really thank you for your time today. And we have a lot of information. Just a quick note, if you have any questions, pop them in the live chat and I will try to address them all. We will start with the first question. The person says, she says, I am new to LinkedIn and this seems very overwhelming to me and I haven't put together a LinkedIn page. What should I focus on to begin?
Okay, and so I would say first build out your profile. So it's about you, but you as a representative of your company, and talk, do your headline, your summary and everything like that. And basically think about, if I was looking up what I offer, what would I say? And so think, okay, how are people going to find me? They're going to look me up by this job title or what I sell. And then what would I say that would convince them to buy from me? So you could put your phone number, your email, your website. And the other thing I would say is, it can seem overwhelming, but it's really not. Just fill out the boxes. And then if you don't like what you have, fill it out better the next time. So you can change things in an instant and continually make it better.
Okay, I personally know that LinkedIn is a work in progress. So I like the way you said, take time to build your LinkedIn. It's not like they have to go in and start immediately. So that was a really good point. The next question, what is the best time to post on LinkedIn?
Definitely don't even waste your time on weekends, because people don't tend to go on LinkedIn on weekends. But I would say usually anytime between 8 and 4. Now, if you got a national audience, then you may want to go a little earlier, because New York is earlier and California is later. But in general, it's that 9 to 3 p.m. window where people are most likely to see it. And you might experiment with like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. I think sometimes people are too overwhelmed on Monday and not paying any attention because they want to go play on Friday. So maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay. Okay, so I hear you said mostly during the week, don't bother on the weekend. They're not normally there. And you also said from 9 to 3. So for everyone during those work hours are most important, and try to stay away from it from Monday.
Right.
Very good. Okay, now the next question. There is a lot of new features in stories, something like LinkedIn stories now. Can you talk about the new features that are available on LinkedIn and how you would recommend using those? And
Yeah.
wait for the live button to start before you begin to speak.
Okay. Let's see. I haven't seen that, so I'm going to assume that you can see it. And what I would say is stories is really new, and I just got it myself, so I haven't actually tried it myself, but I have seen someone who included me on stories. Stories is only available on the mobile application, so by all means download the mobile app, which is free from your Google Store or your Apple Store or whatever, and add that. And you also can do some other new features on mobile where there is a button. If you want to send a message to someone, there's a microphone right next to that message box, and you can click on the microphone and leave people a voicemail message. And so they get a little play button and they can hear that. So that's kind of a cool feature and very good for sales reps, because a lot of people open those. Another feature that's really cool in your search box, there's 4 little squares that you may never have noticed. But if you click on the 4 little squares, it'll come up and say you can scan somebody's QR code, which is basically the code that takes you directly to your profile, or you can show your code. So where this is good is, say you're at a networking event, you can click turn on scan and somebody else can turn on their code, this little code image that comes up, and you can instantly go right to their profile and invite them to connect. So that's a cool little feature that you can find in the search box, right where you'll see these 4 little squares. So that's cool. Stories is a little too new for me. I'll know more about that the first time I try it.
Okay, Kathy, so we're on the next question. Someone wants to know, how many years of employment should you put on your LinkedIn page? How much should you include?
Okay. All right. And here's what I would say is, it's actually, I think, better to put extensive experience on your profile, because you score for how many times you say you were doing the same thing. So if you're a construction project manager and then a construction foreman and a construction manager and then president of a construction company, you're going to score each time for each time you mention the word construction. I also like to include those words that that you did before. If you're trying to get back into a certain industry, like maybe you were in nursing and then you switched over to medical transcription and now you want to go back to nursing, it's good to have those words about nursing, those entries about that, so that you score for nursing. So I'm kind of more of an opinion to go ahead and include those earlier experiences. You don't have to put your internships if you've been out for a long time, or that you worked at Pickleman's during college, but you can put some of those more prominent things that tell a story about what you're doing or trying to sell to people.
Okay, so tell the audience, how many connections and endorsements should be a goal? Like, what is a good number, they're asking?
Okay. So with connections, you want to aim for 500 plus. Don't get worried if you're nowhere near there. Just keep trying to grow it organically. You don't want to be that person that only has 5 to 10, 25 connections, because it looks like you have no friends and you don't know how to use LinkedIn. So you want to keep growing it, get into the hundreds as soon as you can. As far as endorsements, you've got to have at least one on a skill to score for it, but it helps to have more skills endorsements. And really, it doesn't matter how many you get as far as skills. LinkedIn will only show 99 plus, and then you can click on it and you can see that, like on some of my skills, I've got like 150 skills endorsements. But as long as you've got one, you're in business. But you might want to try to get endorsements from people who are also in your industry or also in your field. That helps a little bit too.
Okay. Someone mentioned that they're really frustrated because they're doing a lot of presentations, talking to a lot of people, but when they ask for endorsements and also that they're not getting the feedback, meaning people are not doing it and they feel really bad having to go back and forth. They're just wondering, why is it so hard for people to go in and do that? And what would you recommend, as a gentle follow-up, or, to get that follow through, especially when they're working so hard?
Yeah, I know what they mean. Social media is not always that easy. You can post things, but getting people to like, comment, and share, to respond, to say, to give you an endorsement, all of that's kind of hard. That's why I say do it for them first. If you can, say something nice and pleasant about them, they're going to be more able to respond. Keep posting, keep doing events. That's one new feature as well. On your homepage on the left column, you can lead virtual events through LinkedIn. You can promote your events for free on LinkedIn. So if you have an upcoming webinar, you might share that on LinkedIn through the events. You also can find that tab from your company page, and you can click admin tools and share your events. I would just say, keep asking people, consider using humor. So when you're speaking at an event, you could say, think of some kind of funny way of saying, that sometimes it's hard to get even my mom to endorse me, but if you could, please endorse me for my thing or something to just kind of make sure they know, and then just keep reminding them. It's not easy, but keep pushing it, and eventually people will get that. And eventually it'll happen organically, and you won't have to work so hard because you've done it enough and you've fine-tuned what you're saying.
Okay. Someone says that they find it really amazing that they get, like, you can see the analytics when you post. So they may have 600 to 800 people that saw the post and maybe 5 likes. Is there what's behind that?
Okay, so what they're talking about is you can share a post. You don't get really analytics for that. So what that person is doing is writing an article, which is right underneath the share a post. There's a button that you can do write an article, and it's actually like writing a blog post on LinkedIn. And you can add a big banner, you can add multiple pictures, you can have something at the bottom that says, by Melody McClellan, fitness and blah, 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 and put all your details in there, and you can have your little picture. And what it'll say is it went to 800 people, but what you'll notice is you may have 800 connections. That doesn't mean 800 people have actually seen that. So what I always do is there's a place on your profile where you can go to activity, grab the link for that post and share it on your homepage yourself. Put it out on your company page as well. Don't assume that really 800 people read that, because that's not true. And then, like I said, as far as getting more people to like what you're doing, like, comment, and share on what they're doing, and they will respond in kind. Also, when you're writing articles, share articles that's not so much about my business or anything, like share tips and useful information and things that are trending, so right now maybe articles about safety during COVID, and that might not be trending anymore. So think about what's really topical right now, and then also maybe ask some interesting questions that are thought-provoking, and that could get people responding.
Okay, this is our last question. If anyone else has a question, pop it in the question and answers now, but I will ask you this one unless someone else comes in with another. Kathy, this is my own personal question, and
Okay.
maybe you can explain this. I posted my son graduating. It was just a few pictures of him graduating, and it trended for like over a month and had over 15,000 people. Okay, I don't even have 15 connections. So can you explain, as you were talking, I'm thinking, where is this going? People were commenting from all over. It was just amazing because I've never, like, what type of effect, one, does it have on LinkedIn? How did it get that many people to, I guess it's just from people sharing it, then their connections see it, and people love to congratulate you on social media. I noticed that. So Can you tell me, like, how did that happen? I couldn't even keep up with responding. Over 15,000.
It's weird. You post about your company. It's sometimes, and not your company in particular, but you post about your company. People are like, I'll do a click. I'll be nice. But when you post something that touches the heart of everyone, then they respond in kind, because all those parents remember what it was like when their child graduated or when their child had good news. So I kind of tie that to the whole cat video. Cat videos get a ton of things, or cute puppies all rolled up in a basket. Those get a ton more response than somebody posting about their business, So if you can think about a way to use cat videos or warm and fuzzy thoughts and feelings, it really does help. And I just say sometimes some things just capture people's attention. Like I wrote a post one time about how to contact the hiring manager after an interview. And I'd written all sorts of posts on there and nothing really trended. That one is gone around it's like 400,000 people have read it and commented and everything. And it's like another article I might write might get 2,000 people as opposed to 400,000. So you just never know. And so the other thing I would say is kind of take notice of what actually works and try to figure out how to use that. And I think one thing that I would say is you were revealing something that was about melody and about your happiness and praise, and people want to celebrate with you. And so maybe think about some other things that you can do to get people to feel that joy. We need more joy in life anymore, you know, in the hard times.
Well, I totally agree with you. We definitely need more joy, especially now.
Yeah.
And we're going into more darkness and, rainy season and all that. So I
Yeah.
totally agree with you. I would like to say that was the last question. And on behalf of the St. Louis MBDA and the CARES Act team, we just want to thank you for all of this information. If you're out listening and you have any questions, you know that you can reach out to Kathy Bernard directly. She's left her information. And if you need anything else, we're here as well to provide that information and the connection. I would just like to invite you to we here at the MBDA is launching our new interactive website. And because you've already registered today, you will be receiving that link within the next week or so. So stay tuned. We also have at least 1 or 2 webinars per month. So look forward to providing you with some other resources and information. And I want to just say thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We know that you could have been anywhere else and you chose to come and join us in this webinar about LinkedIn and helping your business grow. We wish you the most success, and we're going to actually give you back 7 minutes of your time. So again, thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Tamisha. And we look forward to seeing you next time on our next webinar. Anything we can do, feel free to reach out. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.